y'all. Check it out. You are tuned to the brand new episode of Brothers for Brothers. Check it out. Tonight,
Retro. Retro.
and I'm gonna introduce y'all to my guest. For those that don't know, he's a man. I'm gonna let this man break it down because there's too many accolades for me to try to bring him in. But what I want y'all to do, I want y'all to give a nice warm welcome to my man, Mr. Noah Simon. Check it out, y'all. I'm telling y'all, you in for support. What's up, my brother?
What's up, brother? Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Man, thank you for being on the show. They don't know this is the comeback from brother to brother.
Yeah.
This is the very first episode for Brothers for Brother. So I'm excited. And when we was talking about what the topic gonna be, I was really excited. So man, introduce yourself, get them a little bit of who you are.
Okay. Well, the reason I'm on this show tonight is because I begged Dub to let me be evangelical about the power of art to change people's lives. And I'm only evangelical about two things: the efficacy of art and radical kindness. I'm super evangelical about radical kindness. Okay, so as Dub said, my name is Noah, and I am self-identify as a theater artist. So that means that I am a professional actor. I have been for 30 years, but I also direct, write. On occasion, I've designed sound or something else. So one of the things I love most about theater is that it forces you to think a little bit outside the box in terms of what you think your abilities are. And I've had a lot of fun over the length of my career, trying new things and asking for forgiveness before I asked for permission, and just trying to like stretch myself in all kinds of different ways, because ultimately the reason I'm doing it is to be the best theater artist that I can be. And the reason I want to be the best theater artist I can be is because I want to be the best storyteller I can be. And the reason I want to be the best storyteller I can be is because I believe stories are important. I love listening to other people's stories. I even have a terrible habit of asking deeply personal questions, but it's not because it's not that I'm trying to, I don't know, be gossipy about it. It's really because I think everybody, and I mean everybody, has an interesting story to tell. And it's especially those people who say, my life is boring. I'm like, nope, let's sit down, have some coffee, and I'm going to ask you some questions. And I will bet you the cost of this cup of coffee that your life's a lot more interesting than you're giving it credit for. So I got in all this stuff because I wanted to go to college to be a filmmaker. And the one program I got into, which was actually a really good program in Boston at Emerson College, we were living in the suburbs of Chicago, and my dad was like, "No way, I'm not going to pay for all those plane tickets." So I ended up going to Butler University, and they didn't have a film program. And all I knew was that I didn't want to have a major where I was going to have to work too hard, and that's just real. I mean, that's that's the truth. So I ended up being a theater major, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the expression. I fell in love with the storytelling. I just I fell in love with the opportunity to feel empathy for another person, to inhabit another person and to feel empathy for them. And I've played some terrible characters, like they themselves were just horrible people. But as the actor, I do not have the luxury of passing judgment on my character. My job is authenticity, and I can only achieve that through some level of empathy with my character. And this is something that Dub and I were talking about on a different occasion. Is that I don't understand why all parents don't want their kids to be theater majors. And I'm going to only speak for theater, but I feel the same way about music. I feel the same way about dance or sculpting, painting, poetry, whatever, writing, whatever the form of expression is. I believe in it, and I am a champion of it. But because my history is with theater, I just talk through that lens. And so what Dub and I were talking about is that the arts and theater in this case really provide us with a whole toolbox of abilities: resourcefulness, resilience, self-esteem, self-care, empathy. When I hear people speak ill of empathy, I think to myself, what happened to you? Who did this to you? Empathy, frankly, ladies and gentlemen, is a superpower. And when you possess empathy for another human being, you feel things that could be foreign to you, but it puts you on a level with the person you're talking to that is deep and substantial. And again, it's authentic, as opposed to two people just sort of like talking at each other. Like I don't believe in small talk. Rarely will you hear me ask somebody, how about this weather? Instead, I'll be like, where'd you grow up? Something like that. So I went through college, and before I had a chance to graduate, I dropped out, and I moved up to Chicago from Indianapolis, where I was going to school, and I got really into the whole improv scene. I was taking classes at Second City, which is like improv mecca, the birthplace. I was seeing my friends in other shows, and I came to revere that particular art form. People think of improv as a comedic art form, and it's not. It can be, but it's not entirely. That's almost a little bit reductive to simply say that improv is about comedy, when really improv is about learning to live in the moment. Another life skill. When we live in the moment, we appreciate what's happening to us right now. We can dream about the future, we can learn from the past, but we have to live in the moment. If you don't live in the moment, really important things are just going to pass you by. You start taking things for granted. And when I'm teaching classes, one of the messages I try to impart to my students is, when you're walking to class tomorrow, just look at the grass, look at the trees, feel the wind on your face, and then move on. You don't have to make a big deal out of it. It's just the power of noticing. So, going back to what I was saying about, I don't understand why parents don't want their kids to be theater majors, because it's more valuable than almost any other major, in my opinion. And I'm going to tell you why. Because with a theater major, you learn this whole cornucopia of skills, which doesn't lock you into being a professional actor or theater maker. You can become a public speaker. You can go work in an advertising agency and be one of the best collaborators in the company. You can walk dogs and talk to people on the street. I find in my travels a lot of people for whom fear is their go-to emotion. If you ask them to speak in front of other people, if you ask them to express themselves beyond how's the weather, they feel fear. And so my message is you don't have to feel fear because we express ourselves every day in a conversation. If, Dub and I Dub, if you and I are having a conversation as we did last night, that wasn't scripted. We didn't know what we were going to talk about.
Not at all.
That's an improvised conversation. Everybody is an improviser. Everybody. But it's like, let me give you just one example. Sorry, I'm the king of tangents. When my dad turned 80, I thought, what a really good retirement career for him would be voiceover work, because he's got a dynamite voice, just absolutely dynamite. And so I have a friend in Chicago who has like a sound booth inside of his house, and he agreed to let us come over, and I was going to make a voiceover demo for my dad. And I pulled a whole bunch of copy, advertising scripts that were geared towards older Americans. And I said, okay, Dad, we're recording the first spot. I said, Dad, in this spot, in this commercial, you are a grandfather, something you know very much about. So essentially what I'm saying is all you have to do is be yourself. And he's like, oh, okay, cool, great. And so if it was like a McDonald's commercial and the script was, come on down to McDonald's, where we have Playland open 24 hours a day. He would say, when he did it into the mic, he said, come on down to McDonald's, where Playland is open 24 hours a day. And I'm like, no. You don't have to do all that. Just be yourself. Be like, hey, come on down to McDonald's. Playland's open 24 hours a day. And he's like, oh, I hear that. I got it. I can do it. Ready? Okay. All right, go. Come on down to McDonald's. Like he couldn't get past the formalization of speaking into a microphone. So over the course of my career, I have really worked hard to be a great improviser and to use improv as my base of acting knowledge. I don't think any actor should be able to take an acting class until they take an improv class. I don't think anybody should be able to do anything until they take an improv class. So, and I'm sure like Dub, your long experience in the music industry, I'm sure you've seen everything that I'm talking about. You just extrapolate it to music. I'm sure you've seen this.
Definitely. I have a question, because I know you when you just the little time that I've known you, I've listened to you even when you talk to somebody else. Yeah, I eavesdrop. And I was statistically, the art of entertainment, any form of entertainment, is like a multi-billion-dollar industry. And a lot of I've always met, I think I've said this to you, that how entertainment music saved my life. It brought me out of a dark place, and that music is basically a therapy for me. Mm-hmm. So if there was something that you could share with somebody about a form of how the arts kind of brought you or is your shield and cover, I want to hear some things about how the arts have become your shield.
The arts. Okay, so I don't think art has rescued me from dark places, because I've always had both at the same time. I've always been artistic. Even when I was a little kid, I was doing plays and stuff like that. I also possess darkness. What I do think that I would say that art has done for me is, importantly, art has given me purpose. I know what my place is in this world. I know what my purpose is. My purpose is to share what I know about human nature and storytelling with the rest of my community, and to use that skill set to talk about the things that we can do better. For instance, I was going through a hard time a couple of years ago, and this actually coincides around the time that I started going to brothers helping brothers. And I didn't have any teaching jobs. I didn't have any acting jobs. I basically just didn't know who I was. And I approached a friend of mine named Cujo, which some people may probably know. Cujo is a local rap musician, hip hop artist, poet, generally amazing human being. And I wanted to do something with him. And this is sort of like apropos of those times where I feel low, where I feel like I don't have purpose or direction. What I do is I just do the first thing that comes to my mind, whether it's theater related or not. Like I go and take a bunch of photos, like create a photo project. In this case, I went to Cujo and I said, "Hey, I'm Noah. I'm a theater artist, and I was wondering if you'd get some coffee with me and let me talk at you a little bit about us doing a project together." And he's like, "Yeah, sure, sounds great." We got together for coffee, and to make a long story short, we ended up, along with three other poets, created a wrote a play called In Plain Sight, which is about a fictional homeless encampment, and is like this lyrical journey about it that helps people understand how people become homeless and the various ways. It's not one path, it's 80. It's 80 paths. And we did a whole bunch of interviews with the city, with the police department, with virtually every social service in town that has anything to do with housing insecurity. And what we did is we invited those folks, the social service agencies, to come and be in the lobby when the show got out, so that audience members, after having seen this play, could actually go and talk to a human being right there immediately and say either, why is this happening? How long has this been happening? How can I get involved? I don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of money. How can I get involved? After that experience, one of the people in that play was this guy, Damien Doran. And Damien and I ended up becoming pretty good friends. And he's the one that introduced me to the group. Now we're doing a play, the same group of writers, we're working on a play about post-incarceration reentry. Because once again, through this group, I've met a whole bunch of men that have lived incarceration experience, and which is not something I have any knowledge of. And I started to wonder, like my good friend Chris Potter likes to say, I started to wonder, how is it that the same people keep going to prison over and over and over again? And it's just really like, it's actually rare that somebody gets their shit together in order to stay out of that situation. Well, you know what we don't do? We never ask what got them into that situation in the first place. Where did they grow up? What was their childhood like? What resources did they have? What resources did they not have? And more importantly, and apropos of this particular play, what resources are we not giving these folks when they get out of prison? Try to imagine being in prison for 20 years and then just getting out and somebody saying, "Okay, you're free now." It's like panic inducing. If you don't know freedom, if you don't know how to use a cell phone, and suddenly we just dump people out on the street and we're like, whatever you do, you better see your parole officer every week. You better not miss those appointments, and you better get a job, and you better get a place to live. Although nobody tells them that you can't get a job or a place to live if you're a felon, because no one will rent an apartment to you and no one wants to give you a job. You know what? A lot of the people with incarceration experience that I've met are incredibly industrious human beings, because they have to be. They're entrepreneurs. They volunteer their time for social service organizations to try and help the guys that are the men and women that are coming after them, that are making these mistakes. But I don't want to put all of that on the people making the mistake, because I think it's we as a society who have failed them. And I know this is not a conversation about incarceration, but this is the thing that I'm using my skill set to lift up in our community. We have a recidivism problem. Why? And I'm not interested in giving people my opinion on this within the context of the play. Let's be honest. I love giving people my opinion. I'd much rather, provide an opportunity for people to have a good conversation about it. And if we agree, great. If we don't agree, that's fine too. That's not the important part. The important part is recognizing the problem and then having a conversation about it. That's it. And anything more that we try to put on it is just an unnecessary amount of pressure. So I guess that's what art has done for me, Dub, is I feel a ton of purpose. And I feel like all of my ambitions to do good in this world and to make my community the best that it can be that's my art. That is my expression.
We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we'll come right back because I got a few more questions for you.
Good.
All righty. You're tuned in to Dubs's Entertainment Network, WDUB Radio, the NTV. We're in the building with Mr. Noah Simon. That's right. We're gonna come back and we're gonna pick his brain a little bit more after this.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Bosted. I'm proud to introduce to you my Hitch Caddy, your solution for banged shins, stolen hitches, and lost pins. I'm going to show you today a few ways to mount this. First, I'm going to show you my trailer mounting option. You can mount this several different ways on your trailer. Upside down like this, or on the back like this. Always use through bolts whenever possible. Alright, this option, you mount it on the back. You always want to make sure that you're going to be able to put your hitch on here once it's mounted. Now I'm going to show you the way that I clamp it. That's way number 3.
All right. And we're back with Brothers for Brother. And my special guest today is the incomparable Mr. Noah Simon. Man, I've known him for a short period of time, but he's a very interesting guy. When I listen to him talk, and I'm not the type to shut up a lot either. I talk, but I'm also the type I like to observe, and you learn a person by listening and everything. So if there was something that you could share, okay, because I know there's like you said, most children nowadays, they either feel they have to be a basketball player or a rapper. Everybody shuns the arts. If it was something that you can share with like the next generation coming up, what would it be that you would kind of bring to the forefront to kind of get them to open their hearts and minds to it?
I want you, and when I say you, I mean these youngsters that you're talking about, Dub. I want you to forget about everything people are jamming into your head about. You have to go into business. You have to be a doctor. You have to be a lawyer. You don't have to do any of that. Unless you want to, then yay, good for you. If you want to be a rapper, be a rapper. If you want to be a basketball player, be a basketball player. You know what I'm saying? It's not about what you do, it's about how you do it. And I also want to say one other thing, which is about the misconception that somehow the arts are an extracurricular activity. The fact is, and you can look this up yourself, is that the last year that we have data for how much the arts and culture sector has contributed to our overall economy is 2023. That number is $1.4 trillion. $1.4 trillion was added to our economy just by arts and culture. We know what arts are. Culture is going to be things like festivals and museums and archaeological digs and everything that has to do with who we are as human beings. That's going to be culture. Restaurants are culture. So when somebody's like, but you can't make a living in the arts, that is BS. So you'll tell your kid you can't be an actor, but you'll drive them to every basketball practice, you'll drive them to every football practice, you'll drive them to their summer league games. You'll get them that coach that gets them into the AAU league. In fact, just for the very status that they have, professional athlete, you will do anything you can think of to do. And here's what I'm saying. I don't know why you wouldn't do that if they said, I want to be an actor, or I want to be a writer, or I want to paint murals. I want to be a muralist or a concert pianist. Because you know what? Those jobs pay a lot of money. Those are really good jobs. Yes, being an actor, there's 18 million actors. But the fact is, you can make a living as an actor. It's probably not going to be $1 million a year, but between a commercial, voiceover work, auditioning for TV and film, or teaching, whatever. This is where the resilience and the resourcefulness come in to you, who you are fundamentally, is that you can say, well, there's no way I'm ever going to make a living at this. How do you know if you've never tried?
Right.
And at the end of the day, your effort is the point. How hard you work at acting, that's not the story. How hard you work at the thing that you're passionate about, the dedication, that's what this is about. And the arts are this amazing repository of different lessons to be learned about how to be resourceful and how to be dedicated to what you're doing. So you can love what you do. You can, as long as you're willing to work for it.
Okay. I'm being schooled today. Well, one of my main things is I never try to push what I do on others, but when younger people come along, I try to kind of, if I see they're doing what I've done, I try to guide them in the right way. But you also have some people out here that misguide, and they kind of draw youngsters away from the arts of music, acting, anything, because they say, oh man, he misused me, he treated me wrong, he did me this way, I don't want to do that because I don't want to have to deal with it. So, but that's in all aspects of life. So no matter what you do, just like Dr. Potter, he's a producer. I've been knowing him forever. He does music. He never let anything take his vision away from being a producer. And it's a lot of kids out here. I know a few of them that started, like, it was one guy. I was guilty of it as well growing up. This one guy would go to dance class and he would always wear these funny pants with these ballerina shoes. We made fun of him, but now today he's successful. He is more successful than all of us. And when I talk to him, I still make fun of him because I say, guy, you 208 pounds, you're built like a brick house, and you're still spinning on your toes. But that's friend camaraderie. But you have some people out here that think that certain things aren't made for men, and I disagree with that, because if anything that's out here, you male cheerleaders, people make fun of them, but that's a sport. That's a form of art.
I tell you what, I dare people to make fun of a male cheerleader to their face. Okay? I'm not a male cheerleader. I'm just saying that, like, they are super strong. And just like you said, Dub, it is athletic.
It is. But I'm really, tell me some of the things that you've done, because just listening to when you and I talked last night, it was off script. We talked last night, and I was just kind of like, man, this dude is kind of interesting, and sometimes I bore easy. When I'm talking to people, I could tell if they really interested or they really speaking something that's real. And as soon as I smell bullshit, I'm done with the conversation. So I enjoyed talking to you last night, and every chance that I've gotten to talk to you, because there's always something interesting, and it's hard for me to find somebody with a passion for any form of art, as I have the passion for the arts of music. So when I see somebody whose passion is just as thick as mine, I'm like, I gotta talk to this person because I want to see what make them click. Because it helps me to understand myself a little more. Because sometimes we can tend to think that we're a little strange because our passion for the art that we love sometimes oversees everything, and you have to bring yourself back to reality. But when you meet another person with that same passion, you go, I'm not the only one, so I guess I am normal.
That's really interesting. I just want to tell you this story really quickly. I was teaching at St. Norbert College, and this is a few years ago. And in my classes, like 99% of students love me in class because I'm completely objective. I have a good sense of what is and what isn't important in the classroom. And additionally, I could care less about grades. I think that adding letter grades to education makes it needlessly competitive and doesn't really tell you if they learned anything. Um, anyway, so one of my duties was to direct a show, and I chose to direct this play called Caucasian Chalk Circle, The Caucasian Chalk Circle by a guy named Bertolt Brecht. And it's about the arrogance of the aristocracy and the rising up of the people. And this is the line between my artistic passion and also being able to pull myself back and realize these are not professional artists. These are students. And yet I couldn't get out of my own way. And I was, in some cases, harsh, needlessly so. They're doing the best that they can do. But it's like I wanted it to be perfect. And I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. It was a horrible experience in some ways. It was a great experience in others, but I was super disappointed in myself exactly because I could not differentiate in that moment between my artistic ambition and my magnanimous need to spread education, right? Spread knowledge and to see people grow. It is important to, like, I can sit here all night and gush about art and theater and music, but I also have to remember that most people don't share that passion with me. So I have to decide when it's my responsibility to inspire that passion in them and when it's my responsibility to shut the heck up and just listen.
I think that's something that I deal with as well. A lot of times, people, if I can be in the midst of friends or family, whatever, and they'll be talking about a million other things that really don't interest me. So I really can't fit in that conversation because the things they're talking about is something that my passion don't grab hold of. So I'm really like blah 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 blah. That's what it. And then I've had people tell me when I really get into a conversation, they're like, "Man, you kind of boring, man. I don't give a damn about your this music. That I ain't into that. That's your thing." And, so I understand where you're coming from. Sometimes we can get lost within ourselves and we forget that others don't have that same passion for it. But
Yeah.
too bad, because if I'm talking and you listening, I'm talking about
it. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I have to remind myself that one of the core skills of both improv and acting is listening, and not hearing, listening, actively listening to someone, and also being egoless about it. So if someone is talking to me about rotating crops on a farm and I don't have any interest in farming, but I will remember that they have a passion about it. I will try to remind myself that they have a passion about it, and therefore I owe them my active listening. Because, again, going back to what I was saying before, I am constantly reminding myself to live in the moment and not be looking for the next thing I need to do. This is the thing I need to do, is listen to this person talk about rotating crops.
Okay, we're gonna take time is almost our time is almost up. So I'm gonna take one more pay the bills. I'm gonna take one more commercial break, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna wrap it up. But man, this is not gonna be your only trip here.
I hope not, because honestly, I could go another hour easy.
This is not gonna be your only trip here. And we're gonna have me and you gonna have to sit down one-on-one and have a conversation. And maybe we can make this a once a month conversation, period.
I'm totally cool with that.
All right, let's grab a commercial real quick, and we'll be right back. You're tuned in to Dub C's Entertainment Network, WDUB Radio and TV. We are live right here with Brothers for Brothers, and I got the incomparable Mr. Noah Simon on here, and he's spitting the game, y'all. Check it out.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy DJ Dub C, Dub C's Entertainment. Yo, I'm talking to all you artists out there. You need to be in the building. All you artist supporters, you need to be in the building. Let's get things back to the way they used to be. Where one support, all support. That's right, the Dub C's 17th Annual Awards Show is going down July 11, 2026 at the Delta Battle Marriott, formerly known as the Ramada Inn. If you are an artist, you need to be there. If you're a supporter of artists, you need to be there. We'll be honoring artists. There'll be a voting ballot where those certain artists will win. Even if you're not a winner, you're still a winner. So still show up. Dinner will be served. Music will be served by my man DJ Trill Will, hosted by my man Big Ben. They'll be taking care of business while I'm holding it down. So make sure you get your votes in. Make sure you get your name on the ballot. Be in the building. Shout out to who's got the ball. Keep moving, keep grooving. Tell me who's hot, who's not. Cash or trash, that's the way we laugh. Dub C's Entertainment, 7th Annual Award Show. We out of here.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right. We are back. It's your boy DJ Dub C's right here. And man, I'm just chilling with my guy, my brother, Brothers for Brother. I'm just chilling with my brother, Noah Simon. He's a professional. I gotta say the word professionally. He's a professional theatrical artist. No, but and it's, man, I really did. I myself used to say, man, I can't get in the theater, man, until I had the option and the opportunity to be part of a play years ago. Thanks to my brother Jim and I, man, he rest in peace. He was one of the members of Men at Large, and I was on tour with them, and they was part of a play with Gerald Levert, and it was called Quit Cheating on God's Time. And I had like a 15-20 minute part in there, but it was the best time of my life. and it taught me some. I was like, man, I'm pretty good at this. I accidentally hit them for real, but it was fun still doing it. So I see I got my mama in the building. Hey, mama, that's my mom right there. She say, y'all, you're speaking on those things that young people need to hear. If y'all can get the younger ones to come to the show, they the ones that want to learn and be safe. All right.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
my mother there. I was just telling you yesterday, I said my mom watch everything I do. She pops in on everything. So I love that's my
I
first
love a
one.
supportive mom.
That's my first one. I've been one of my biggest fans. So Mom, I love you. And I appreciate you stopping in. That's the reason I do the Monday night old school show. That's my mom love music. So
Yeah.
every week she send me a playlist of what she want to hear.
I just want to take an opportunity really quickly, man, to you told me a lot about your time on the road and being a rap star, basically, and which is, gosh, I'm gonna say it this way, and I don't want it to be offensive the way I say it, but being that kind of performer is self-indulgent. It is about the self. It's about what you can get out of it, and that there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to say it like there's anything wrong. However, I am not nearly as attracted to those kinds of artists as I am to your kind of who you are today. Because once again, you're kind of a big deal, and yet you are magnanimous to the core. You have created an award show that lifts other people up. You have created this platform to lift other people up, to amplify other people's messages. And that there's a selflessness in that makes I could not respect you more, is what I'm saying. You're my kind of people, brother. You are absolutely my kind of people.
I blame my mother for that part.
Well, thank you, Mama.
My dad made me the hardcore protector. My mom gave me the open heart.
Awesome. You know what? Yeah. Parents are good for that kind of stuff. My dad said, it was kind of a switch with my parents. My dad said, be kind and generous to everybody that you meet. And my mom said, don't be a schmuck.
That's what's up. I want to send a shout out to my brother Rob, the Poet Brown, right here. This is one of my brothers right here. We've done shows together. He got a show that'll be coming back on the network. It's called Poetry from the Underground. What is it? Poetry from the Underground? I think that's it. Something like that. He's one. When I say he's a comedian, but he do it through spoken word. But he's also a realist as well.
I love it. Does he perform in Green Bay?
Well, he travels. He live in Washington, in DC,
okay.
in the DC area.
If he ever comes to Green Bay, will you let me know? Because I totally want to go see him.
Yeah, he's actually he used to come up to the award shows and everything. We're gonna start back circulating, getting things moving. But I actually want to do a spoken word event where it's just all poetry. But you gotta know enough people that'll come out to support it.
Not making any promises, but if you do that, I'd love to do it with you.
Okay, we're gonna sit down on that. I mean,
that's great.
I know it. I know at least 50 spoken word artists.
I hope you include Cujo and Miriam Brabham in that. They are extraordinary. As you may know, that Miriam is our poet laureate.
Who?
Miriam Brabham is the poet laureate of Green Bay.
I've heard of her.
I'm being selfish because Miriam and Cujo are two of my collaborators and Boulder Voices.
The Miriam, one of my poetic sisters, Lyrical Lioness, she's a laureate from Racine. And we can do some work. We're gonna do some work.
Awesome.
We're gonna do some work. It's inevitable. And Brad with brother Rob. Oh, come on now. He's a comical guy. But sometimes he, hey, he put the fist up and get down at it. But shout out to Matt and matter of fact, I want to say what's up and thank you to everybody that's tuning in. This is the first episode, the first one for Brothers for Brother, and I happen to have my brother with me. This is one of my brothers from the Tuesday Night Men group, and to see all the brothers that's tuning in, it's a good thing as well. So Matt, Logan, Chris, let me see if I can go back and find my brother Lele, everybody, everybody that tuned in. I'd like to thank y'all. Don't let this be the last one. We're gonna work on a once a month show where I get to pick his brain once a month, something like that. But if there's a subject that you want to bring to the show and you want to be a host or guest on the show, hit me up. Let's sit down, let's spread it out, and let's make it work. Is there anything you want to say to everybody before you leave? Tell us where you're gonna be, what are you doing? I'm gonna be picking my nose, I'm gonna be playing in my ear, I'm gonna be
in July 17th, I might be opening from July 17th. I think it's a Friday to August 8th. I'm going to be in a play in Sturgeon Bay on 3rd Avenue at 3rd Avenue Playworks. It's called Red Herring. It's straight up comedy. It's right in the middle of my wheelhouse. I get to play multiple characters and do multiple dialects. So I can't wait for it. Rehearsal starts soon, and so I'm super excited about that. In the fall, I'm doing a play here in Green Bay at the Widener with my wife, Kelly. We're doing a play called Drag Me Away, which was written for us by a local playwright. Okay. About a couple who are trying to figure out what would happen if their house was on fire and if they could drag each other to safety. So also a comedy. I'm currently working on that piece about post-incarceration reentry. So if there's anybody that's listening or watching the show tonight that has lived experience or has anything to share about post-incarceration reentry and that process, get a hold of me. My name is Noah Simon. Tuesday nights, I'm at Prohibition Cigar Bar, but also Noah Simon 1971 at gmail.com. I want to hear from you. I just want to leave you all with the following thought. Love and be loved.
Well, my brother, the time has come for us to say,
I'm so glad we had this time together.
All right, my brother, it's been a nice one. It won't be this is the first one, but it won't be the last.
Great.
And man, I hope everybody got a chance. Those that got a chance, I hope you like it. Those that view on a rebroadcast, leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. How can we improve? What's the points that need to be addressed? Let's make it happen. We're going to go out with a little bit of my form of music. Check it out. All right, my brother.
The way I'm feeling, and you know my love is true. And there ain't you. I'd rather kill and steal and even if I beg, you know I'm gonna love you even on my dying bed. So come on, honey girl, I know the deal. And really start to turn it on, get with will. I want you by my side, girl, I can no longer hide. Why you go and listen to your family? They don't want you happy, they're in misery. And you know the place where you really ought to be. Right here, lady, next to Big Daddy. Why you go and listen to your family? They don't want you happy, they're in misery. And you know the place where you really ought to be. Right here, lady, next to Big Daddy. So come on, baby, let me hold you in my arms. Let me comfort you and take you away from harm. I wanna be the one that come and hold you tight. No need for you to fuss, cause I don't wanna fight. Cause those are feelings that I think you know is real. So quick it done, girl, come on and take this feel. I want you by my side, girl, I can no longer hide.
Yeah, girl. A lot of people may tell you that I'm no good for you. But I'm here to tell you, I'm the best thing happening. God made me just for you.
Why you don't listen to your family? Why you they don't want you happy, they're in misery. And you know the place where you really ought to be. Right here, lady, next to Big Daddy.
Girl, just don't ever forget the dudes who don't to relationship that ends and out to a marriage. Girl, never let it slip your mind. It's just one day, girl.
Why you don't listen to your family? They don't want you happy, they're in misery. And you know the place where you really ought to be. Right